Hello everyone, once again, and welcome back to PAX and Recreation. And today, we are going to go for the true Commander product, Commander Legends. So, we are so close to Commander Masters and all the drama around its prize and all that. And I just felt like, well, you know what, let's open Commander Legends, the first one, the one that everyone claims is good. Let's see how good it can actually be for a normal person if you can actually get your hands on a draft booster box, because it only came in a draft format because it was draft for Commander, which is kind of weird. And I thought about, I got this, and this is the playmat from one of my favorite Commander precons, kind of a group hug kind of precon, and this was one of the first times that Ultra Pro started doing like playmats themed after Commander decks. The touch is so smooth compared to the newer ones, but this is the thing that I love, like space for your deck right here, the Ultra Pro logo, gigantic, like the faces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Magic the Gathering, all the copyright, and another Wizards logo. We came a long way, folks. We can actually now have a playmat that is not full of logos and all that random stuff. So thank God, compared to newer ones that only have like 2 logos and very dim. Yeesh. So we came a long way. Sadly, for other stuff, we went backwards, such as the pricing on Magic the Gathering products, the release cadence, and all that good stuff that really makes this feel like a gacha game more and more every day. So, Commander Draft. And sadly, it's a piece of paper. It's not a cardboard like it normally is, but there you go. The whole explanation on how to build your deck for Commander on Draft. Long story short, there is a Commander specific word for this, which is the Prismatic Piper. The local game shops were supposed to give you the Prismatic Piper if you didn't get one, but technically it's like very abundant because it's a common. And each booster has 20 cards, so you have to do a 60 card deck instead of 100, like it normally is, right? The draft archetypes right here, nice. And it makes sense, right? Because if in normal draft a Magic the Gathering deck is 60 cards, and for draft is 40, for Commander it makes sense that it's 60 instead of 100, right? So look at all this. Nothing like those 4 booster collector boxes, right? So there is the box. I don't know. I will keep the box because I'm that type of person. So let's put all of the stuff here and let's just start. Oh, the good old days when drafting packs was kind of cheap. It actually kind of opened very easily as well. Weird. Okay, so Ultra Pro, talking about the devil. And let's see. Armory of Iroas, Ripscale Predator, Strategic Planning, Spark Harvest, Sparktongue Dragon. To be honest, well, there's a bunch of cards that are good or okay for Commander here. This is not a master set, just let's make that clear. It's just an okay set for Commander. And sometimes you have stuff like this, like Mana Rocks, and some other items that are like very typical for Commander. Intangible Virtue. You can see there is a bunch of commons and uncommons. This is because this is a draft pack, right? Oh, wrong turn. This is the rare from this one. And Dargo, the Shipwrecker. Siani, Eye of the Storm. Well, I think there is some sort of a rule that at least you always have like 2 legendary creatures so that you can pick commanders from it. And Preordain is the foil. Look at that. And a Golem token. And I just realized that I'm doing this more like any other cracking channel instead of just doing it my usual way of separating stuff. So apologies to the fans, all 4 of you. So there is, let's divide this by color. This way is like 2 for the price of 1. Then it's easier later for me to just pick them up and sort them. So, not bad. You can really tell this is draft for commander. A bunch of artifacts that are just enabling mechanisms so that you can move your deck faster. Pair of okay commanders and a token. Not bad. Okay. See, this is the prismatic Piper. Which is, ironically, I love it when Wizard is like, oh, you should get a prismatic Piper. If you don't, then do this, right? And it's like, well, thank you, I guess. Can you just put it in the packs instead of a token? Because it's basically worthless. It's like, nope. You need to get it. Same way that you are going to ask for lands at your local game store at anytime you have a. Well, it's actually white. I put it with the with artifacts. Farhaven Elf, not bad. Bitter Revelation, Filigree Familiar, Amorphous Axe. Just bear in mind that this is Rupture Spire. Not bad. Not great. Same logic with, that we usually follow with any draft pack, which is we're not here for the we're here for value. This is not like a collector booster or something, and this is more of a you're meant to play with this. Now you may be thinking, yo, but if this is meant to be played with, and you're always arguing about scroll rack. 1 and tap, exile a number of cards from your hand face down, put as many cards from the top of your library into your hand, then look at exile cards and put them on top of the library in any order. And now the spots for the commanders, Abomination of Llanowar, or Llanowar, I don't know how I pronounce it. There are two ways of doing it, one right and one wrong. I just keep messing this up. I don't know what's up with me today. But okay, so this will be the first multicolor spell. Kodama of the East Tree. Yay! Legendary creature spirit. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put on the battlefield with this ability, you put the permanent card with equal or lesser compared to mana cost from your hand out of the battlefield. And it has partner. Scrounging Bander in foil. And an Elf Warrior token. It's nice that this comes with tokens because, well, you need a bunch of tokens in Commander, so I guess that makes sense. Making friends that stick together forever. Love it. Those are the good ads, right? Like the arena ads, they're just an ad for arena without any code. Just really boil my blood. It's like, why are you doing that? Just give me a token or something and then put the ad on the back. But I just did like a double ad. I'm already buying Magic. Like, what do you want from me? You might be thinking, well, if this is for draft, why are you opening it? Like, isn't that against your own principles? It's like, well, yes, but I'm not separating it by boosters. I'm separating it by color. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this to my Commander cube, which is my friend's way of doing like drafts and stuff like that. Normally, what happens is that you add. So normally I like to have a jumpstart cube, but as time is passing, I started to experiment. Promise of Tomorrow. I started to experiment with Brava of the Steel Legion, not bad, and Armix, Filigree Thrasher. Okay, and I foil Meteoric Mace. Oh, and there you go, the Prismatic Piper. So we got one. So this is the commander standee, right? So in case you don't get like a legendary creature, which is kind of weird because you get a bunch of legendary creatures, so one is gonna be your commander, but whatever. If the Prismatic Piper is your commander, choose a color before the game begins. The Prismatic Piper is the chosen color. It has partners, so you can just tag it along with any other partner legendary creature, like the ones that we've been getting so far, for example, Brava or Armix, so that it enables you to get another color. That's kind of the joke. And it just like stays there because it's a 3/3 for 5. It's just like super useless. So its only reason to be there is just to add another color to your commander deck, right? So, and oh, I thought it was Kishibe Rohana for a second. I was like, what? So, is that a JoJo reference? Everything is a JoJo reference. So normally, we will just draft it. But since we are going for a cube approach nowadays, I just bought a bunch of cassette tape cases. There's a video in the corner, like if you want to see it. And with that, we kind of do drafts. And I just do like thematic packs, sometimes for Jumpstart, because Jumpstart is already that, and sometimes for Commander. And people just like draft it. But it's like a more controlled draft. It's like a more useful draft, right? So you get like a bunch of stuff. Doing that for Commander, though, is kind of crazy because it has to be at least 20 cards, and you gotta put at least one legendary creature that works as a commander, but then you gotta open like 5 of these, right? Because it's 100 cards. So you may end up with the 5 colors if we do it randomly. If we don't do it randomly, then we can just separate them by color. It's like, okay, pick 2 or pick like X from any color that you want or something like that. That's how we kind of draft cube commander. Oh, Terramorphic Spans, not bad. Mindless Automation. Strength of the Pack. Sunset Pyramid. Blasphemous Act. Everybody hates this card. Yeah, baby. Why? Because it costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield, and it deals 13 damage to each creature. So, board wipe. Malcolm Keen-Eye Navigator. It has partner. And Nostro, Voice of the Crags. Okay, I think I've never seen this card. For one blue, 1 red, and 1 white, it's a 3/3. You can tap it and choose 1. X is the number of spells you've cast this turn. Scry X or Nostro, Voice of the Craigs, deals X damage to target creature, or you gain X life. Okay, so like 1 typical effect from each color, and then it's a kind of okay creature. It's kind of an okay commander. Rupture Spy, no bad, and the Monarch token. How many houses and local game stores have some sort of tradition around being the Monarch? Like, there is always something that you need to put in your head. That's the beauty of Commander. Like, no one gives an F. And I think it's the beauty of what Commander is bringing for Magic the Gathering for the past, I don't know, 10 years or something, which is sadly it's getting lost because as more time passes and Commander becomes the only format that anyone plays, Wizards prints out more and more cards that are just more and more broken and just like keep breaking the Commander format. So I guess we're gonna start banning a bunch of stuff because otherwise, for example, there's the debate around the Commander staples, like if every deck needs to have a Arcane Signet, a Soul Ring, etc., then is it really 99 cards or is it more like 89 cards? Because you always have to put the 10 staples that are very necessary. And then obviously you can just proxy whatever you want. Nightshade Harvester, nice. Although apparently Wizards has been telling some game stores that they will like pull back support if they allow proxies in game nights, but whatever. Thalis Reverend Medium, nice. Anointer of Valor in foil, nice. And only the armor and the light are foil, that's nice. A treasure token. This is the way it's supposed to be played. Every time give me a token. But ideally, Commander is this format where you just pick the cards that you have at home. That's why you can only have a copy of each and all that stuff. And you play with your friends. And it's like a party mode, so you can play Commander one-on-one, but well, some decks don't work like that. And arguably, it's less funny. It's basically like bought up standard to a degree. I still like it though. And most of the times when I play with my friends, if we're only like 2 around, we play Commander 1 versus 1. So that's basically standard with steroids. But we do play a lot of 4-on-4, 4-player battle royale, 2-on-2, 3-player battle royale, etc. And sometimes we play 5, and we do the pentagon thing, which is the 2 players next to you are your allies, and the 2 players across you are your enemies. So you are only supposed to attack those 2. Oh, look, a command tower. And those 2 are the ones that, if you beat those 2, you win. Right? So it creates very interesting dynamics on the table and all that. But at the end of the day, it's just funny. It's just fun because it's Commander. Ooh, Jeska's Wheel. Nice. You had to pronounce that right, because if you don't say Jeska, it sounds like Jessica, so it can be like Jessica's Wheel. So for 2 and 1 red, you get a sorcery that says choose 1. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both. Add 1 red for each card in target opponent's hand, or exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So, very nice. Halana, Keswick Ranger. Cousin of Aragon or something. And Togo, and it has partner. Like every legendary creature here that is a single color has partner in this set. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Rock. With equipped creature has 1 tap, sacrifice Rock. This creature deals 2 damage to any target and equip 1. And it's funny because it's Togo Goblin Weaponsmith, and it's just like he just has a rock. Lathiel the Bounteous Dawn. The art is amazing. The printing is kind of weird. For 2, 1 green, 1 white. Yeah, it's like decolored. Like, what the hell is wrong with this card? Like, look at the. It's not black. It's just like fading. I mean, I just cracked this. Like, compared to any other foil, like, is it because it's a unicorn that it has the power of dreams and therefore the name is like. So lifelink, and at the beginning of each step, if you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many 1/1/1 counters among any number of other target creatures. Okay, it's okay. You can do some crazy mechanics with it, I guess. Maybe in the Hobbit's food deck, you can actually do some nice crazy things, I will say. But no one cares about life gain. That's one of the first things you learn when you start to get really into Magic, because when you start, most of the times the feeling that you get is that, well, if losing life is what makes me lose, if I gain life, I'm untouchable. And that is kind of right, but there are a lot of alternate winning conditions, so whatever. And you realize that the only point that matters is the last one. So it doesn't. From this perspective, it doesn't really matter if you have 10 or 1. At the end of the day, you need to win. You need to just not get to 0, right? So that's kind of the logic. So with time, you actually understand that it's like, well, life is not that important. Gaining cards is more important. Like having options to do stuff. So the conclusion is, life gain is the worst effect in Magic the Gathering, and drawing a card is the best one. And ironically, blue is the color that normally, nice, rejuvenating springs. White is blue is the color that normally pushes for you getting cards, so that's why a lot of people say like, oh, blue is the best color. It's like, well, up to interpretation. Tuya Berklow. Okay, nice. Averna the Chaos Bloom. 1 green, 1 blue, 1 red, legendary creature, elemental shaman. As you cascade, Okay, you may put a land card from among the exiled cards onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, nice. Well, the entire deck needs to be cascade oriented, but not bad. Prosperous Pirates in foil and another Elf Warrior. There's a bunch of Elf Warriors tokens here. Let's continue. I'm trying to see if I can save a wrapper, a booster wrapper, but apparently I can't. They just crack. So, Howling Golem, Dragon Egg, Spontaneous Mutation, Dispeller Capsule, Corpse Churn, Eye Blight Massacre, Pilgrim's Eye, Cage of Hands, nice, Entourage of Trest, Malfield Twins, Prophetic Prism, Staunch Throne Guard, Burnish Heart, always in my heart, Humble Defector, a very fun card to have around, and this card, if I recall correctly, is in this deck, actually, so there you go. Scale Behemoth, and let's see, Magus of the Order, Human Wizard, okay. And as for the possible commanders, Hamza, Guardian of the Arashin, and Kolfenor, the last Jew. Sorry, what? The last Jew? The last Jew? Jew? Really? Jew? Oh, okay. Vigilance Reach. Whenever Kolfenor, the last or another creature you control dies, return up to one target creature card with lesser toughness from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, not bad. Crow of Dark Tidings, or Tidings, actually. Nice. Beautiful card. And a zombie. Okay, we are 1/3 in. Inspiring Roar. Valak of Invoker, Spontaneous Mutation, Howling Golem, Brazen Fire Shooter, Ghastly Demise, Liz Alana Del Rey, Eye Blight Colors, Card Cartographer, Silverback Shaman, or Shaman, Commander Sphere, there you go, another staple. You can't have a Commander deck without that. Trusty Pack Beast, Scholar of the Ages, Sandstone Oracle, looks like the Sphinxes from Pinocchio, but okay. Cast Down, nice. Plague River, Alina Kessig Trapper, legendary creature, possible commander. Slurk, All Ingesting, another possible commander, kind of weird creature. Ooh, a H foil Hamza, Guardian of Arashin that we just cracked a while ago. Not bad. A treasure token. Let's see, Aqueous Form, Crow of Dark Tidings, Kitzel. Oh, I didn't notice that the logo is in the letter. See, the Commander Legends logo. Nice, very nice. You can actually see better lights. Gift of Paradise, Impulse of Pilferer, Seer's Lantern, Fire Action Rager, Fury Cannonade, Skywaller's Shot, Fincalled Fugitives, Path of Ancestry, another very good staple. At the end of the day, it's funny because you learn one thing with time, which is everyone chases the expensive cards, the crazy cards, and a powerful monster, creature, enchantment, or whatever. Ooh, Port Raiser, Orc Pirate. Whenever Port Raiser deals combat damage to a player, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there is an additional combat phase. Port Raiser can attack a player it has already attacked this turn. Very nice. Keleth, Sumane, Familiar. Nice. And Reyav, Master Smith. Whenever a creature you control that is enchanted or equipped attacks, the creature gains double strike until the end of turn. Not bad. A foil Elvish Visionary and an Prismatic Piper. And a Monarch. what I was saying is that we all chase the important cards, right? And everyone wants like the crazy creatures or the crazy whatever. But no one gives a crap about lands, right? Whenever like this set doesn't even have any lands except for the special lands, like it doesn't have like normal lands. And people are always like, oh, those are lands, whatever. And there's almost never a discussion about lands. However, if you look at most of the commander staples, what are they? Lands. If you look at the most powerful cards, what are they? Lands. Or things, basically things that give you mana. So actually the things that are more broken in Magic, the most valuable things, are always, without exception, mana things. And therefore, lands. Or most of the time are lands. Or artifacts that give you land, or creatures that give you mana. So I always find it incredibly funny that we just don't care too much about, you know, lands and stuff like that. And at the end, you can't play Magic without lands. See, War Room. This is a land. It's a special land, but it's still a land. Easier or Easier, Wild Wing Familiar, Legendary Creature Bird, and again, Arcanum Weaver. For 1 red, 1 white, 1 black, legendary creature stays, you pay his price again, and tap, sacrifice an enchantment, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you sacrifice one thing for another. Equivalent exchange. And spontaneous mutation, which also has kind of a faded printing kind of thing going. And another elf water. Not bad. Next in line. Ivy Lane Denizen, Renegade Tactics, Strategic Planning, Spark Harvest, Ripscale Predator, Scholar of Stars, nice, Sea of Stars, coming out soon, hashtag not sponsored, sadly, Court Street Denizen, but I am actually a patron, I was a participant in the Kickstarter. Marble Diamond, I love it how we have a bunch of stones like this, and this is kind of a good stone. So it enters tap and it gives you 1 white, but for 2. So it's like, it's okay, it's an extra mana thing to pull, but it enters tapped, so it's not that great. But it's always the rocks, right? Like diamond, ruby, etc., etc. And who can forget the moxes, right? Those cards are so freaking expensive. And it also brings another topic to the table, which is, Opal Palace. See, another staple. What is it? A land. Oh, nice. So there you go. Daring Saboteur is a human pirate. I love it that there's a lot of pirates in this set. Fate's Fetters, Guildlift Winnower, Horizon Stone. Okay. If you will lose unspent mana, that mana becomes colorless instead. And wait, but it stays with you, or okay? Time to look to search in Google. What's up with this? Because it just becomes colorless. Okay, but you still lose it. Right, so it's just a way to convert mana so that you have colorless to do stuff. I need to get better at Magic, I guess. Numa, Jorga Chieftain, and Kark the Thumbless. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner hand. If you win the flip, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Oh, so it can cut both ways. You really just need to lean into it, and well, it's about luck, really. And a Thrall. I will say we're halfway there. So let's see. Lifecracker's Gift, Welding Sparks, Flood of Recollection, Corpse Churn, Sparkdown Dragon, Farhaven Elf, Firelight Massacre, Ancestral Blade, Fertilid, okay, Charcoal Diamond. So I love it. One thing that I love is the cycles, like when it's like the same thing but for all colors. I just love how they do the little tweaks so that it fits the different color philosophy visually or whatever. Pirate's Cutlass, Benevolent Blessing. We are now in Uncommon Land. Null Color, Grafted War Gear. See, bunch of artifacts. Patron of the Valiant, Sweet Gum Recluse. Recluse. Miara, Thorn of the Glade. Bel Borca, Spectral Sergeant. Well, actually, this is an additional creature that I just kind of jumped over, but there you go. With Partner, and then Bel Borca is a multicolored. And Kinsbale Courier for in foil and a copy token. So it's a copy of a permanent. I love that this thing exists, but it's like at that point, isn't it just better to like use a die or use an infinite token or something? I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's just so generic that. Scrapdriver Serpent, Crushing Vines. Poor thing, man. Look at, come on. One curiosity that I have is that what's the standard around signatures in Magic the Gathering art? I wish that, like, maybe there is an article somewhere, I need to look for it, or maybe I can just ask on Twitter or on YouTube and be very persistent with Ristic Studies to see if he could make a video about that, because one, his videos are great. Two, I'm just very curious. Like, why is it that sometimes some of the art you can see the signature of the other, and sometimes you can't? Is it a thing depending on the person, or is it a thing of the past that in the past the signature kind of was there, and then Wizard was like, you need to stop with this, thank you, and people are not allowed to put their signature in there? I don't know. Because it's weird, because, I mean, the name of the artist is always underneath, right? So it's not like they are not creating people. Although, I wouldn't be surprised. Soul of Eternity. Soul of Eternity's power and toughness are each equal to your life total. Okay. And Encore for 7 and 2 white. You can exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn. If able, they gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Very useful. Jury, Master of the Review. Very good commander right here. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Jury, Master of Review. And when Jury dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. And Tormod, the Desecrator, Zombie Wizard. Whenever one or more whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. Interpret the signs. Just read the signs. And a soldier token. That kind of fits the theme of the playmat. I love it when plans just happen. What was the phrase? I love it when plans go okay or go right. I don't know the phrase. I don't remember the phrase in English. Ironically enough, I know the meaning of the phrase, but I can't remember the word. He's a Annoyed Altisor, Sagittarius Skeleton. This is from Innistrad. Shadows of Innistrad, if I recall correctly. I love that set with a passion. Fall from Favor, Slith Ascendant, Elvis Visionary, Natural Reclamation, Sizai's Ring, Sizu, Open the Armory, Revenant, Brass Herald, not bad, Root Weaver Druid, Creature Elf Druid. Whenever Root Weaver Druid enters the battlefield, each opponent may search the library for up to 3 basic land cards. They each put one of those cards onto the battlefield tab under your control, and the rest onto the battlefield tab under their control. Then each player who searched the library this way shuffles it. Interesting card. So they get up to 3, and they put one of those onto the battlefield under my control, and the rest on the battlefield on their control. So you steal 1 land from each person, but they get 2. So yeah, each opponent may search. If you could at least pick the opponent, you could do like a politic play or something like that. But if you can't, then kind of whatever.
Amareth the Lustrous. For 3, one green, 1 white, 1 blue. Legendary creature dragon with flying. When another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand, which is kind of okay. Fire Diamond. Ooh, nice. Look at the shine. Just in the diamond, which is amazing. I love it when they do that type of thing. And treasure. You may be thinking, geez, this video feels longer than usual, and that's because, well, yes, I'm taking my time, sorry. And the other reason is because this is a draft box, so it actually has more packs than usual. That's kind of the norm. Sky Diamond. I think we have almost every diamond. I think we're missing a green diamond, which technically should be an emerald, but they went with diamonds for this cycle. Produce mirror. There's a bunch of mirrors here. Terramorphic Expanse, which is great. Golem Artisan. A bunch of artifacts. I think artifact is the type that we have the most. And multicolor, not that much, but that makes sense because it's a draft thing. And, well, maybe you want to go monocolor, I guess. So, Wheel of Misfortune. For 2 and 1 red, each player secretly chooses a number 0 or greater. Then all players reveal those numbers simultaneously and determine the highest and lowest numbers revealed this way. Wheel of Misfortune deals damage equal to the highest number to each player who chose that number. Each player who didn't choose the lowest number discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. Wheel of Misfortune. Belv, Corrupted Observer. Zombie Elf. At the beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, the player adds double colorless for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. Damage causes loss of life. Thank you for that explanation. And Liesa, Shroud of Dusk. For 2 white and 1 black. Legendary creature angel. Rather than pay 2 for each previous time you have cast a spell from the command zone this game, pay 2 life that many times. Oh, okay, this is okay. Flying lifelink, so it has lifelink, so I think you can recoup that. And whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. Okay, so no fun for anyone. This is a very good Speedmander card. A Wild Celebrants in foil. Also, the part that's foil is the flowers. Love it. The Prismatic Piper again. And a Golem. That's the thing. What do you understand as speed commander, right? Like fast commander. Because a game of commander can be very long, depending, and the more people there are, the longer the game can get, right? So a lot of people have different solutions for a speed commander. Normally, we normally do speed commander, or speedmander as we call it, in 2 different ways. The first, more usual way is 3 different ways. The easiest one, oh, there you go, most diamond, is the human way, which is let's please play faster. So people just go like boom, 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 and we're just trying to play as fast as we can. And because that's like speed dating, right? So that's kind of the idea. But sometimes you can get stuck and you don't want to stress people, etc. So there are other 2 ways. Oh, that's a golem. It looks more like Ultraman or something. Great. The card's not that. Well, it's kind of okay, but I mean, when Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Like, okay, I guess. For 7. Amphin Mutineer. Salamander Pirate. Ooh. When Amphin Mutineer enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-salamander creature. That creature's controller creates a 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token, and you can do Encore with it. Not bad. And Alaru, Solemn Ritualist, is one of the commanders, or possible commanders, legendary creatures. And Breaches, Brazen Plunderer. Another pirate. So pirate is the name of the game. Legendary creature, Goblin Pirate, Menace. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents on the top card of each opponent's libraries, you may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though there was any mana. Okay, and it has partner. And War Room in foil. Not bad. and a Monarch token. So what are the other two ways of playing Speedmander that we use? I mean, I'm interested in knowing if you have different ways, because that's the magic of Commander. It's like the house rules in Monopoly. It's like, oh, the free parking gives you the money that everyone pays as taxes, that is in the middle of the board. It's like, no, that's not anywhere in the rules. But everyone has their house rules, same with Uno, and all those games. And with Commander, it kind of happens the same. People invent variations of it, or people allow stuff like, oh, you can play with proxies, you can play with whatever. Like, that's, you can just decide, because the casual format, it doesn't matter. Opal Palace, nice. And the second way that we use for Speedmander is we actually play with decks, or at least there is one deck there. There is the Agent of Chaos, right? Ooh, Rakshasa Debaser, Cat Demon. Whenever Rakshasa Debaser attacks, put target creature card from defending player graveyard onto battlefield under your control. Ooh, nice. And we then core. And then the possible commanders is Kedis Emberclaw Familiar. Not bad. And Gilandra, Color of Wirewood. For a second I read Firewood and I was like, what? Traitor. And Renegade Tactics in foil. And a Somatic Piper and the Monarch. And normally those decks are decks like that one, which is like everyone loses life for everything at all times, at all moments in the game. Or like, what's the name of this commander? Well, it's not a commander, it's a legendary creature, but people use it as, I mean, it's not a commander of the precon. It's one of the precons from Warhammer 40k, video attached somewhere. And it's the guy with the two guns, right? So it says that every time any permanent or anything suffers damage, it deals 2 extra damage. So whenever you take damage, you do damage to your opponents, you just keep hurting them, and it just does damage from existing. So that really speeds the game up. However, you need to kind of agree with that, because a lot of people don't like it because they don't get to play their decks and stuff like that. So that's another thing with Commander, which is, well, you need to be human with the other people and be like, hey, I'm going to play with this, or maybe play once and then ask for the feedback, because everyone likes to play like wild decks, deck ideas, or whatever. But if no one else wants to play with you because you are just a bully, or I don't know, the way that you play is too aggressive or something, then it doesn't really matter, right? Because how good your deck is, if you don't have anyone to play with, then what's the point? So there has to be like an equilibrium. So for example, that commander, I used it in a deck that is all about damage, and the game finished very fast. But not a lot of people enjoyed it, right? And a friend of mine uses a mono-white commander deck where the commander is the Defector Might from Phyrexia, Skrelv Defector Might. And well, it's very easy to summon as a commander, and it's very cheap, and it has a protection ability that protects all your other stuff from specific colors, and it deals toxic, right? So if everything else in your deck just deals toxic, in Commander there is no change to the toxic rule. It's still 10 points of toxic. Even if you have 40 points of life, it's still 10. So the game is really short, and you just kill opponents very fast with it. So you really have to ask, right? Like, oh, you play once, it's like, oh, did you like it or not, or whatever, because otherwise just like, meh. Sphinx of the Second Sun. 6, 2 blue. At the beginning of your has flying. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you get an additional beginning phase after this phase. The beginning phase includes the untap, upkeep, and draw steps. Not bad, actually. Shame that it's not a commander. It's not a legendary creature. Araumi of the Dead Tide. 1 blue, 1 black. Merfolk Wizard. This one is for the prof. And, ooh, Jared Carthalion. I have him as my commander from the precon. I love that deck. He's a commander is kind of meh, but he's 5 colors. Here he's only 3. Red, green, white. When Jared Carthalion through air enters the battlefield, target opponent becomes the monarch. Okay, so I'm like Highlander and I want to kill that person. You can become the monarch this turn. If damage will be dealt to Jared Carthalion while you are the monarch, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Okay, actually not bad. Impulsive Pilferer in foil and a treasure token. 4 to go. So, what's the last way that we have to play Speedmander? And is actually the one that is kind of cheating to a degree, but well, the game just really goes fast. Instead of having one deck or multiple decks that kind of kill the mood because they go too fast, unless everyone agrees on playing very fast decks, or just doing the simple thing, which is like, oh, let's play with 20 points of life instead of 40 so that the game is faster. There's another way that we found that is a way for you to play your deck and Armillary Sphere. And, not like so everyone is happy kind of thing. It's kind of dangerous though, but at the same time, everyone acknowledges that it's like, well, this is a way of playing Commander as fast as possible. So, Sakashima's Will. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast this spell, you may choose both. Target opponent chooses a creature they control, you gain control of it. Choose a creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until the end of turn. Not bad. Not bad at all. Rokrag, Son of Rogag. Legendary creature. Kobold Warrior. First strike, Menace, Trample. It has partner. Why does it have this red sphere here if it's not a... Interesting. Okay. Anara Wolvit Familiar. Very nice card. The art. Let's see the card. 3 and 1 green. As long as it's your turn, commanders you control have indestructible. Okay. It has partner. Nice. And a Perilous Mirror and a treasure token. So the best way to play Speedmander, that kind of is play commander as usual, but like with whatever deck you want to play, but pick your hand. So the first 7 cards which you start the game with, you can pick from your deck. So you just pick the 7 cards that will be like your ideal first turn hand, and you just start playing. And you may be thinking, well, that's kind of cheating. I mean, it is, but if everyone agrees to do it and everyone does it at the same time, it's not cheating. It's just a way of playing Commander. So, and a very fast way of playing Commander. And why I say it's a very fast way of playing... this is nice. Why do I say that this is a fast way of playing Commander? Well, you can imagine what happens if you can pick your hand. Even if your deck is not the best deck ever, likely what's going to happen is that like 6 or like at least 5 of your cards are mana engine cards, and then the cards that you need from that mana engine are just to call your commander immediately or stuff like that. It's kind of weird, but I promise it's kind of fun at the same time, and it's very fast. So because that's the point of it. Otherwise, I have played Commander games that lasted for 8 hours. So like we stopped to eat, we came back, all that. So when Court of Ambition enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you are the monarch, instead of each opponent loses 6 life unless they discard 2 cards. Oh, great. Arden, Intrepid Archaeologist. Core Scout. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of auras and equipment you control to target permanent or player. Not bad, not bad. And Iktekik, Savage Splicer. Human Artificer. It says when Iktekik, Savage Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. Whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from your battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each Tekik and a +1/+1 counter on each golem you control. Not bad. And you have a bunch of golems in this set. And Rakshasa Debaser again, not bad, but in foil. And a spirit token. with a good old classic art. Second to last booster. And this is the one that I opened the best so far, so not bad, people. We kind of managed to save one. Universal Solvent. A lot of artifacts, which makes sense because artifacts are colorless and they just propel your deck, and you can just put them. Well, not you have artifacts with color, but most artifacts are colorless. At least the common way of thinking about artifacts. So all that pile over there is that. It's on a Bowmaster, Ghastly Demise, Core Cartographer, Commander Sphere. It's funny how you don't get that many copies of the staple, even though they are common. It's kind of weird. Coastline Marauders, Horizon Scholar, Dreamstone Hedron, Coercive Recruiter. When Coercive Recruiter or another pirate enters the battlefield, basically I think at least 2 themes going on, or 3 actually. Sphinx, well, actually like 4, like Sphinxes, Goblins, Pirates, and Golems. Gain control of target creature until the end of turn. On target creature until the end of turn, it gains haste and becomes a pirate in addition to its other types. Yar, another pirate, see? Breaches, Brazen Plunderer, and Rebek, Architect of Ascension. Or Rebek, Squad Captain, and the armor is the foil parts, and not bad. And a soldier token. And the last booster contains Briarblade Adept, Brazen Freebooter, Kitesel Corsair, Gift of Paradise, not bad, Impulsive Pilferer, Silverback Shaman, Seer's Lantern, which is kind of, that's okay, Eye of Light Colors, Fiery Cannonade, more pirate stuff, Skywaller's Shot, Sky Whalers Shot, Finclade Fugitives, Path of Ancestry, Workshop Assistant, Make a Stand, Make a Sotando, Fist of Succession, Arcane Signet, there you go, no, 2 staples on the same pack. Akroma's Wheel, for 3 and 1 white, is an instant, but if you control your commander, you choose both instead of 1. Creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, and Double Strike until the end of turn. And creatures you control gain Lifelink, Indestructible, and Protection from all colors until the end of turn. So, kind of okay. Kind of good, actually. Lathiel, but this time not foil and kind of well printed. And Neviniral, Neviniral or Borg Tyrant. They just throw vogels at things, right? And they just 3, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black. Hexproof from artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Okay, just not from sorceries. Planeswalkers. Yeah. When Nevirulon or Borg Tyrant enters the battlefield, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token for each creature that died this turn. When this creature dies, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy all artifact, creatures, and enchantments. Not bad. Ooh, bonus track, Nadir, Agent of the Duskiniel. Duskiniel or Duskiniel or something. And a copy token. And that was it. There are so many cards that there's kind of no point in me picking the favorite for each pile. But one thing I can tell you, this was a nice set. Commander Legends 2, not so much. It was kind of a hit or miss. And, well, Commander Masters is certainly a thing. Commander Legends has a bunch of useful cards, and let's be honest, we could use more sets like these. It's like to play draft, and they're kind of cheap, and you have like fun cards, and you have a bunch of legendary creatures with partners, and you can use them as commanders, and just a bunch of cards that just really make sense for a commander, and just keep printing the staples again and again and again, right? Like Command Tower, Opal Palace, etc. Because even if you like, the only way to get this for certain is in precons. Otherwise, you need to buy stuff like this or remember where this card was released to get it. So sets like Commander Legends and Commander Legends 2, even though they are not that good, at least if you want to play, Commander for fun with your friends, I think it makes sense. One of the scenarios where it makes sense for me actually is to just, even if you don't want to play Commander draft, just if you make like a cube or something and you make a deck from it, like you buy a couple of boxes and then you kind of create a deck or create decks and you go, because one of the funnier parts of playing Commander is actually building the deck, at least for most people, right? So it's a very fun activity to just be like, oh, let's build a card with a deck with this, right? Instead of just always going through the process of like, yeah, what's the top commander that I can do? You can get like very creative and original and let's just add this to your cube and have like a commander cube or just a box of cards that is like, okay, this is the cards where I have my stuff. Let's see what I can do, which is the basics, the spirit of Commander, is the thing that Commander was made for, right? Just, it's like leftovers. It's like leftover pizza from previous day, right? And everyone knows the pizza from the previous day is great. So Commander is kind of the same. Is you pick your cards from previous sets and stuff, you do a deck, and you just kind of have fun with it, and because you have an idea or you have a theme or you just saw a commander and you're like, oh, that card, that can be an interesting card. That's the spirit. And not so much like, oh, do I have like this commander super important, expensive staple that Wizards created that kind of breaks the game. It's like, eh. So I don't know. Overall, I like a lot Commander Legends and Commander Legends 2 a little bit as well. Like, if it was, it's a matter of price, right? If a box of Commander Legends costs $100 or something like that, is okay. If a box of Commander Legends 2 costs $100, it's like, eh. So, for example, if this one is 100, Commander Legends 2 needs to be like 60 or 70, maybe something along those lines, right? Because there is a palpable difference in quality between the two, but the fun aspect or the logic behind the fun aspect should be the same, which is let's just create a commander deck with it. Sadly, Wizards doesn't always think like this, so we are kind of stuck with what we have. But I like this a lot. It wasn't like the most valuable thing that we ever cracked in this channel, but I personally enjoyed it a lot because I just really like playing Commander with my friends. So there you have that. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know what ways you have of playing like Speedmander in your house. And as always, as usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I will see you next time on PAX and Recreation. Goodbye and thanks.